All right. Good morning, or in our case, good afternoon from here in Cleveland, Ohio. Hope y'all are well. Don't know if anybody's going to pop in or be around. There we go. All right. What a word, huh? Vernalization. Wow. Big dog. I didn't write the Green Wizard's Guide. If you don't have a copy, get a copy. Link in almost all of my videos. Crouch Ranch brought this up, so I've tried to keep all of the big tech terms out of a lot of what I talk about. And vernalization was one of them. And you all know this term. Going on, Mike. You all know this term. Y'all all have heard this, but in other ways, and that's overwintering seeds, or refrigerating your seeds to keep them at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. Hey, 320, how you doing, sweetie? It turns out there's a lot of these different plants that will grow. Okay, some kales and what have you that will grow and will give you the fruits, but they'll never go to seed if you don't reach the optimal cold storage temperature of the seed. So you'll reproduce the plant, but you won't get it to seed. You won't get it to that point. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we just did the video on garlic. We just talked about getting this stuff in the ground and letting it get started ahead of. Yeah, I know, buddy. I was over there. I didn't say anything yet today, but I was there. But all good. Where was I? Letting your garlic have a chance to start growing before we hit the frost, before we hit the first snow, is a tremendously helpful thing, because it's one of these plants. It's one of these vegetables. I guess it's a vegetable that has to overwinter. Okay. Pumpkin seeds, one of the big keys to getting the biggest and the best of the pumpkin seeds is letting the seeds refrigerate before you plant them. Now, again, I didn't write the book to be hardcore explanation, all scientific. What we eliminated all that to make the book more fun. Oh, it's available. Yeah. See, everybody's racing right now to get it in the ground. It just depends on where you are. Get a hold of MI Gardener. Get a hold of the Seed Exchange. Garlic's available. Oh, hey, Dragon Gaming. Welcome. If you remember in the book, I stated that garlic has all these different purposes and all these different things. And one of the things is it changes the soils. And it causes things to happen in the soil that drive off certain bugs and what have you. Well, it turns out, and I knew this, but it drives off moles. If you've got a mole problem or a vole problem, the smaller, that are eating the grubs and the grub worms and the worms and what have you, because everything's part of the food tree in nature. Turns out garlic, and I saw it this morning, and some So many times I go out there and I do stuff in the yards. Um, and when I say yards, there are many yards I take care of around me. Um, and I was looking for mole sign, and I got a tremendous amount of mole sign everywhere throughout all these other properties, except near my garlic beds. Nothing. No sign of them. Again, another many reasons to have garlic growing in your flower beds, what have you. Because remember, you take them down in July or you harvest them in July. So they're not there all summer long to detract from your flower bed, but they do so much to the soil. Another one of the big things that I tell you guys to keep your hands on and to use in your gardens and to use in your yards is coffee grounds. Again, it's another one of these defenses against moles. Drive those coffee grounds into your yard, into your garden. Keep those things out. They don't like those flavors. Uh, Somebody had asked a couple of days ago, even after I put the video out, why am I planting so early? It's this vernalization process. It is getting ahead of, hey, Gemma, how you doing, sweetie? It is getting ahead of the frost by getting these certain crops in the ground and extending their vernalization period or their point of storage in cold areas. England's a little bit tougher to deal with. There, I would suggest just refrigerating certain plants or certain seeds before planting them. But because Crouch Ranch, another channel I watch, had come out, because we're all doing our garlic videos right now. We're all talking about what amendments we're putting in the soils and how we treat this, that, or the other. Calcium, coffee, minerals, vitamins. But you're trying to get root establishment by the garlic and by some other, depending on your snow and your cold. You're trying to get root establishment ahead of the snow coming in. Some people don't understand that aspect of it, and by utilizing this word vernalization, it gives them something to go look up, gives them something to go look in the farmer's guide for, in the seed guide for. What is this vernalization thing? What are we talking about? And it's the overwintering or the cold storage of carrots. Carrots, for example, if you refrigerate your carrots for, I think it was 8 weeks, and then you take them out and you plant them, they will go to flower. They will go to seed. You will actually get carrot seeds because it will finish through the process that is required for that particular plant. Other examples of it would be like tulips. Okay, tulips. The bulbs have got to be in the ground in the fall so that they overwinter in the cold storage period, and then come spring, they burst to life and come out from everywhere. It's just one of those plants. It's one of those things. So yeah, people are asking, why are we doing this? Why are we trying to stay ahead of the frost in this particular plant? There's more than one. Don't misunderstand me. There are plants that grow over winter, very specifically grow over winter, that need this frozen ground gestation period. Garlic is just one of them. It's one I very heavily concentrate on because of not only do I love the flavor, for a lot of the minimal cooking that I do, I don't do a whole lot of cooking, right? I'm joking, right? Because I love my barbecue. I can't get enough of it. But it's for the fleas and ticks. I love my animals. I love having them around. I want them in a bug-free zone and a bug-free atmosphere. And just because they come out and they talked about vernalization, which is the cold storage of plants and seeds or seed stock. And no, it does not need to be a refrigerator. It can be buried in the ground, in a non-soil conductive area in cold storage. Um, some of them store better at 51 degrees versus what's a refrigerator, 42, 43. Um, and that's kind of where you're shooting for with a lot of these plants. A lot of the plants can't handle the colds, but some of them without it will not flower and will not do what they're supposed to do. So yes, it's garlic time. Yes, vernalization is part of that. That's why I say, please get out there and get it done before the frost hits. We're not cleaning the beds up. We're actually packing the beds away this time of year. We want to be gathering up all the leaves, putting them in our flower beds. We don't want to be putting down mulches. We don't want, no, 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 no. There's too many chemicals involved. Nature knows what she's doing. Gather up the leaves, put them in your flower beds, protect the flower beds, a couple of inches, depending on how deep your snow or your cold is. Um, and it will make all the difference in the world. But when I was out cutting the grass this morning and touching up the different yards and walking them, because I walk them barefoot every day, always looking for this sign, that sign, signs of this, signs of that. Um, Everything from old trees rotting out and bushes dying away to um, the wrong kind of weeds coming in, type of thing. Um, and seeing all the mold sign is just another one of those reassuring things that says, "Hey, look, the garlic is doing what it's supposed to do. It's changing the soil in such a way that the moles don't want to be in it. Even though I've got hundreds and thousands of worms in my beds, which is another telltale sign that I'm doing everything right. I have no signs of their predators coming in. And that's the whole point. Get your garlic out there. Get it in your beds. Get it in your gardens. You want to overwinter these things. Those sunflowers that I had come up mysteriously, those things did awesome after they overwintered that way. I don't know why. That's just the way Mother Nature works. So, yes, it's garlic time. It's time to start looking at your soils and paying attention to what's going on in your yards, because your yards have to be treated the same as your flower beds. Everything leans on everything else. It doesn't matter how far away it is, it all communicates with each other. I'm doing good, Gemma. I'm doing good. I'm ready for snow. I'm ready to uh, get back to work and start punching a time clock. The plow blade is back on the truck. Um, I haven't put the weight in. I usually run about 700-800 pounds of dead weight in the bed of my truck, all the way back next to the tailgate to give me more traction. But I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of um, personal plowing this year on my own contracts. I've dropped all of them and gave them all away. I'm just going to commercial plow this year for the company and use their truck. But um, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm holding my own. I just need to get back to work. I've been away for years, it seems like. The stuff is coming. We'll see snow again. Uh, a Wizard's Farmer's Almanac. Jerry, I try to do these videos that way so that you guys are right along with me at the same time. You're a little bit lower in the region, but you still have those same kind of storage conditions. You don't see the snow we see, so you have a slightly different issue. I'm jealous and envious because I'd be able to get 2 to 3 cycles of garlic in my yard versus the one I'm able to get. Um, I might be able to tease 2 out of this season, maybe, but you guys are in a set of circumstances and situations down there where Yeah, I can see you getting a solid two cycles of garlic every single year. And dude, just go to the store. You'll see what they're selling it for. It is so worth growing. You can make huge profits out of the size yard you've got, and just run it along your tree line. You know, you've got the plants, and you've got the apple tree, pear tree, whatever it was out front. Garlic needs to be out near that thing, not next to it. Don't dig around it. Not that. That's not what I mean. But you had that bush line or that shrub line, um, just up the hill a little bit of ways, enough to get a lawnmower through there or something like that. Get garlic planted up in that area. Get those predators, the moles and voles and what have you. Get those things driven out of your yard, because all they're doing is coming in after the worms, but they're eating up roots at the same time. And you want to drive those things off. You don't want those things throughout your yard. Uh, I'm good, Kevin. How you doing? But yeah, the money that can be made from selling fresh garlic, um, when you follow the Green Wizard's guide and you start producing garlic that is over the top for everybody's taste, um, yeah, there's a lot of money to be had. And what do you got to do? Stick it in the ground one day, and then come July, you pull it out of the ground and make nothing but profit. And what did you do? Nothing. You don't have to weed around it. You don't have to this. You don't have to that. It's one of those hardy plants that reaches for the sun. Don't need to bother with it. Let it be. Uh, what I should do, and you guys can tell me uh, whether you like the idea or not. What I should do is take some garlic and go find a bed somewhere throughout, all my testing areas that is full of weeds, just packed full of weeds, and plant garlic. Um, and see if it will outpower the weeds. Um, uh, no, Kevin. You don't need lime. No. You've got mineral deficiency. This BS about, is it acidic or is it sweet or is it, that's the issue that we're all contending with, that's destroying everything. We've got to get away from that idea. And Gemma, there's different variables in garlic. Now, if you can eat an onion, there's a breed of garlic you can eat that is so close to onions you'd think it was an onion, but it actually isn't. It's garlic, and you're getting the minerals that are so valuable to your health from the garlic. So you just swap the flavors. Each one is just slightly different. And why are you not coming up, Kevin? I don't get it. Um, no, you don't need lime in your soil. That is just one of those. That's that NPK. We're going to convince you, okay? NPK process. We're going to convince you that you need chemicals, and chemicals are what's causing the problem. Um, Chemicals is what's destroying the planet and causing da 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 da. And you can fill in the blanks any way you want. Okay, we've got to get away from that chemical process. We have to get back into nature's way of doing things. There are other things going on in California that are causing issues in California that have got nothing to do with the man-made problems causing the fires and what have you. There's something totally different going on there, and they don't want anyone talking about it. It's called Fukushima. Look it up. Holy cow. Bad news. Um, Anyhow, yeah, Gemma. There are different variables, and understand something. When I tell Kevin to go plant it and sell it, and I tell Jerry to plant it and go sell it, these guys can go and plant the same named garlic. Okay, let's I don't let's go with elephant garlic. Okay, it's just one, pops into my head. They can plant elephant garlic exactly the same day in exactly the same soil conditions, two completely different states altogether. And what they're going to get in flavor is going to be completely different in the same type of garlic. Meaning they can make money side by side because they're producing totally different flavored elephant garlic. One is going to be very specific to Jerry, and the other is going to be very specific to Kevin, all depending on soil conditions. And garlic is so incredible. I can plant garlic 40 feet from my yard to the next yard, my neighbor's yard. I can plant it 40 feet away. And because the soil conditions are so different, the same garlic comes up completely different. And it changes the flavor in so many different ways, even though it's still giving you all the minerals that are so important to human health, giving you so many of those minerals in the flavor. And that's what we're picking up. We're picking up the minerals because of the flavor. We're picking that stuff up. And there's one of the abusers of it right now. Mr. John, hey buddy, how you doing, my friend? Garlic in your cooking. Oh my God, does it enhance flavors in so many different ways? But like I'm saying, Gemma, garlic sweeps this huge range of flavor and this huge range of mineral base, starting next to onions. It's almost considered part of the onion family, but it takes it from the onion side of it to the heavy garlic side of it. And either one you go to, you're still getting the mineral content. You're still getting the health benefits from garlic, even though you can switch from one very, very mild, very middle of the road to one that is all the way onion to one that's all the way garlic. Those flavors are huge spectrum across the field when you're talking about garlic. And the benefits to the soil are immeasurable. Immeasurable. Because look, here's another one of those things. I've got garlic planted. My next door neighbor doesn't have any. They have moles throughout their yard and throughout their flower beds, and I have none throughout my yard and my flower beds. Zero. Zero sign of moles. Just because I'm growing garlic. Again, this is one of those things, and I'm sorry, Jerry, you lost another mower. You need to spend, come out of pocket a little bit heavier and get a real mower or something. The throwaway Japanese Walmart special lawnmowers, just they're not built to handle real lawns, my friend. Um, there you go, John. But John, in your conditions, hey, like love, how you doing, sweetie? Uh, 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 there's so much I should say, but it's a different crowd here. I probably shouldn't. uh, all right, you said it anyways. That twisted love affair right there. Um, anyhow, John, you don't get the freezing temperatures that. Okay, not freezing. Don't misunderstand. Not freezing temperatures, and that's what this vernalization thing is. Um, what you want to do is you want to take your dried garlic and you want to put it in the refrigerator for about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, so that it thinks it's in the ground, so that it thinks it's in frozen temperature. So it don't freeze it, just stick it in the refrigerator. Stick it in one of the bins down there. It's not going to hurt anything. Um, it could turn some foods that you're okay. Anyhow, You want to cold storage the garlic and then plant it in the ground in your grow season in England. And you will get tons of garlic, but you've got to refrigerate it. It's got to go through this cold season, the vernalization season, or it will not go to flower. It will still grow. Don't misunderstand. You'll still get garlic if you do not vernalize your garlic seeds or your corms or your cloves or what have you. But if you refrigerate it, instead of just leaving it sitting on a shelf somewhere or in a dark closet or what have you, if you refrigerate it for a couple of months throughout the summer, and then you stick it in the ground, come early parts of spring, potentially right as your last frost comes in, and you stick that in the soil as that soil is starting to warm up, you're going to get incredible garlic. Anyone can do this, and you can trick it. That's what I'm saying. Like with Jerry's conditions down where he lives, if he refrigerates his garlic, he can grow that stuff in the middle of summer and run 2 cycles. So not only can he do a winter, he can do an overwinter and a summer by just refrigerating garlic and get 2 cycles out of the system. And see, all of this I did not want to go into in the Green Wizard's Guide. And I hope all of you understand that. I didn't want to go into the scientific structures of all of the bits and pieces involved in growing your gardens and growing your yards and taking care of nature so nature takes care of you. You want the best oxygen with the least amount of work. You don't want to be chasing all the bugs and stuff out of your yard that are eating your grass roots. Plant some garlic and drive those things away. And when you look at what garlic is selling for in the stores, okay, you're missing out on profit. You're missing out on potentially labor-free, labor-free profit, where you take a little clove. Oh, see, I don't have any. I gave it all away. If you take a little clove and you just punch the root side down or the flat side down in the soil, and you forget about it for 120, 210 days, depending on your grow cycle, depending on your region, and you just forget about it. And come July, you go harvest that. Now you took what was once a sliver or 1/5 of a garlic clove. You now have 5 plants, 5 full-size cloves that you could sell. You take the best of those and you reseed for the next year. Then you go from 5 to 25 and so on and so on and so on. And I'm telling you, look, it's one of these plants. You set it and forget it. You stick it in the ground and you never look back. I don't care if it's 1 season. I don't care if it's 25 seasons. You never have to look back, and it will keep coming back year after year, stronger and stronger, bigger and bigger. It's one of those plants. Right. Kevin. It's trick hibernation or vernalization. That's the scientific word they want to give it. Whatever. It's cold storage of seed stock. And this is, I tried to hint to this and allude to this. Store all of your seeds, all of them, in the refrigerator. I don't care. It could be there for 2 years. It could be there for 5 years. Those seeds are going to germinate the fastest you've ever seen because they think they've been sitting in the soil for that long. Appreciate it, John. Appreciate it. But no, I tried to write the guide so that you guys could all not get all scientific-y, because it's not. It's Mother Nature. It's all of these overpaid, I want to be a teacher, college, know-how, whatever, that couldn't go grow a garden to save their life, throwing all these chemicals at everything to try and make everything grow. No, no. Mother Nature's been growing this stuff since long before man was here. Stop. Stop that whole idea. They came out with the NPK system as World War II was ending because the military factory, the military industrial complex had all of these toxic chemicals they needed to get rid of. So what's the best thing they could potentially do? Break them down to their basic forms and make you guys buy them all and stick them on the soils and make things grow. Yeah, you toxified the soil. Smart. Great idea. And now we got trees falling down for no damn reason with flat bases. A tree's supposed to have a ball root, not a flat bottom. But you're burning them all out because the chemicals. And Jerry's here. He can tell you this system is phenomenal. When you take the Green Wizard's Guide and you follow the steps, it's an instantaneous change in your yard. Instantaneously, you no longer need to water. Instantaneously, your yard no longer floods. Instantaneously, you start seeing soil and grass starts to explode exponentially around your yard and spread out, and it will choke out the weeds because it comes in so strong. You got to stay on top of it, but it's just one of those things. Some people don't like to cut grass as much as I like to cut grass, but my yard is so thick, weeds can't get a foothold. They try, they just can't get a foothold because the grass is so thick and so concentrated. And yes, I do cut it short and then cut it long and then cut it short, and I thatch it and I aerate it, and all of the steps that every one of your lawn professionals tell you about. But I follow the system. I follow what Mother Nature tells us. And the abundance that it gives you is phenomenal. We can correct the issues. There's a new movie just come out on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it right now. And I should have wrote it down when I saw it. But it's talking about exactly the same thing. Ray Archuleta, he's one of these paid for speakers. I'm starting to wonder whether the man even has time to run a garden himself. He's one of these paid for speakers talking about how your soils are a carbon filter through the use of the plants. We exhale carbon and intake oxygen. And when your soils are right and your yards are right and you're not rototilling to get everything, and there are ways to stop the weeds and the weed seeds and the weed seed germination, all of it is spelled out in the Green Wizard's Guide. Very simply, as funny as I could possibly make it. And you put this system to use in your yard, you're getting the best possible oxygen. You're getting the best possible, fruits and vegetables right out of your own yard. It's not rocket science. If I can do it, be gone. Jerry read the book, didn't have the time. His wife read the book. She applied it to the yard, and the thing took off. What's he say? A rainforest. There you go. But vernalization and getting ahead of the bugs and getting ahead of the problems that are invading our yards, getting the garlic in. This is the time of year, ahead of the frost, ahead of the first cold. Let these things start to root a little bit. It's good for them. This is the way they come up in nature. Right, exactly, Kevin. But see, when you do the garlic, and Gemma's talking about it here, where it triggers the smell and the flavor triggers some issues with her, and she just doesn't understand there's different types of garlics. She just needs to go to the variable to get the minerals, but goes to the variable that she can tolerate and she can enjoy it. But garlic affects an area 30 feet wide per plant that's growing in the soil. Because, and again, more stuff out of the Green Wizard's Guide, that bio life, that biofiltration I talk about, all living in the soil, is spreading out to bring back minerals. And when it spreads out, it takes part of that garlic plant and part of those garlic roots with it. The microscopic biome is incredible and reaches up to a mile in some places or more. And having a garlic plant, one garlic plant at your front door affects a 30-foot area all the way around it. Not 15 feet to one side, 15 feet to the other, 30 feet wide. And when you start your surrounding your garden and surrounding your yard in these kind of plants, you naturally drive off the predators that are coming in after the worms. And the worms we know we need. They're the fertilizer, they're the rototillers, they're the aerators. We don't have to pay to aerate our yards when the worms are so abundant and so flourishing. And all we're doing is putting up a protective barrier with the garlic plants around the yard that we can profit from. And what do we have to do? One day we stick it in the ground. It takes about an hour. You go around and you stick one in the ground here, stick one in the ground there, stick one in the ground there for however many plants you got. And then come July, you cut them all down and you harvest them. And you've got 5 times more than what you planted. And a multitude of 5. And if you keep the best of those best, you multiply that out and so on and so on and so on. It's incredible what garlic can do for your soils. But it's one of those plants you gotta treat it right. You gotta get it refrigerated in the ground ahead of the first frost so it can get established. It's just one of those plants. Kevin, in my book, page, and I'm going to guess here because I just don't remember, page 23, we talk about a weed seed killer. Now, no matter how much the horses eat and the seed that they take in that passes through their digestive tract, and there's a lot of seeds like that too that have to pass through an animal's digestive tract. There's some, well, we won't go into that, but if it doesn't get that acidic breakdown from the animals going through their intestinal system and it doesn't eradicate the skin, the seed will sit in the soil forever and not do anything. It has to pass through intestines of some animals. There's some coffees out there that you want to avoid because of this and some other, but anyhow, there's a product in the book I talk about that is a weed killer, a weed seed killer. If you take your manure and you coat it in this stuff, it will kill all of the weed seed that's coming in the manure. It's one of those things to consider, that if you treat the manure on its way in and you mix the stuff up, it's going to act all natural and it's going to kill off the seed that's in the manure and it's going to act as a fertilizer in 6 weeks. So even though your manure is a fertilizer and bringing up your nitrogen levels, this stuff at 6 weeks to 8 weeks later is also going to do exactly the same thing and give you another boost of nitrogen because it's an all natural product. Well, try different types of garlic, Gemma. There, like I said, it goes from one extreme to the other. It goes from onion, almost an onion flavor, picking up the minerals and giving you those flavors and the smell, all the way down to extreme garlic, which the Italians love. And it oozes from their skin and you can smell garlic on them all the time. It just depends on what variety you get, what type of, and try the middle of the road. Order in 1 clove of elephant garlic and just try it, because the worst thing you could do would be to find that you have the reaction to it, need to go to a different one. You can mince that all up in honey and give it to somebody as a weight loss cure. I know, right? Honey and garlic Minced garlic in honey is a weight loss cure. You take a spoonful, well, okay, we'll just say a tablespoon. You take a tablespoon before bed at night. Everyone could be doing this. Um, what it does is the honey increases your metabolism. It brings everything up. The mineral base that is in the garlic starts to feed you and help you go into a deeper cycle of sleep. So your metabolism is up, you're going into a deeper cycle of sleep, and you instantaneously start losing weight. So it's just one of those things. If you can increase your metabolism and sleep deeper, you naturally lose weight. All body fat is subject to this. So it's just one of those things. So you could find that that elephant garlic is still just a little too garlicky for you. You need to go to another breed or another type, but you could make up a weight loss cure for somebody else. Say, here, try this. See if it helps your sleep. Just tell them it's going to help their sleep. Don't talk about the weight loss side of it, because then you're talking about somebody being overweight. And, oh my God, you wouldn't want to hurt somebody's feelings. And no. It's a natural melatonin booster, basically, because you go into deeper REM cycle while your metabolism spikes overnight. You don't wake up hungry. You don't. It works wonders. It's incredible what this stuff can do. But yes, now's the time for garlic, everybody. If you got it, get it in the ground. If you don't, go find some. Go find some. And remember, like I said, it's very specific to your soil conditions in your region. You may have heavier iron, or heavier zinc, or heavier copper, or heavier aluminums, whatever. Every garlic is going to be slightly different from other garlics. 40 feet away, I have a difference in garlics. 40 feet in my yard. And I have two different flavors from the same type of garlic. So keep that in mind. And these are all things you can turn around and sell. It's awesome. And you can sell different varieties. So if Jerry, that place, that hilltop place, that place, you could be growing very specific garlic to you that no one knows you're growing and making profit, buddy. But I also warn you, get up there and plant some sunflowers. You know what I'm talking about, and you know where I'm talking about. You don't have to take all the other stuff up there from the guide. These are a couple of those plants that don't require it, that will make the changes to the soil and start improving things automatically. Hint, hint, hint. Go make some money, but get where you got to get to and do what you got to do and go make some money. You can. Absolutely. It's like worm casting tea. It's the same difference. It's exactly the same difference. All I'm going to say in that aspect, though, Kevin, is watch your temperature. You can actually take the temperature to that 120, 130, 140. I wouldn't cross into the 160 region as you're bringing that water temperature up, to kill off a lot of disease factor and kill off a lot of seeds. But what you're going to want to do as it's cooling back off and coming back down is start adding your sugars, and then start adding your bacterial life. So you go up to kill everything, and on your way back down, make that bacterial life go active. If you research the compost teas, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And when you start bringing those factors in and you start sweetening that up, they're going to go to work overtime in that, and you're going to have a formula that's going to blow your plants out of the water and still have a usable substrate after the fact that is still high nitrogen and still really, really good without having a burn factor nitrogen. Because when you when you introduce the bacterial life that can't survive up in the 160s, can't survive up in the 150s, okay, when you start introducing that bacterial life and it hits those sugars, it's going to kill off the bad. You'll research it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. And all you need to do is that deer grade molasses, sugar, deer grade molasses. Keep aerate it, get a bubbler going. You'll understand. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm giving you shortcuts here, but you can demineralize, kill off a bunch of different bacterias, bad bacterias, and then bring the thing back down the other direction and turn that into some phenomenal tea that you could sell off and or utilize throughout your yard everywhere and get some phenomenal results and not be looking at the NPK process to get your 10-10-10 from the NPK fields for your yards and your gardens. You don't need to. That's why they talk about composting teas and vermiculture, worm compost teas. These things are tremendous, and you'll understand. You know where I'm going. I'm sure you've done your homework and you understand where I'm leading to. Tremendous amount of potential right there. But yeah, just wanted to cover base on that. Wanted to make sure everybody understood. Everybody's garlic's going to be different. You can all buy the same seed stock from me if I were selling it, but I don't have any. I gave it all away. You could all get exactly the same seed from exactly the same source, and in your region grow it and have a completely different flavor, and be trading it amongst yourselves for eating purposes and have completely different flavors, just because of what your content is, what your amendments are in your soil, in your living soil, not dirt, not clay, soil. So I'm going to quit flapping my gums. I think I've been here long enough. I appreciate all of you coming. I hope all of you are doing extremely well. Share this out with your fellow gardeners. Let's get some information going. I look for the garlic videos, everybody. There's a lot going on, and a lot of really, really good farmers and gardeners are talking garlic right now. There's some great information. But I appreciate y'all stopping in. I'm going to get out of here. I still have a couple of things I got to do. Absolutely, Kevin. And clover. Clover will do exactly the same thing, and you don't need to mess with clover. Another one of the good ones, especially for your overwinters. Shoot, I knew you'd catch me. Somebody was going to catch me, and I'll remember it as soon as I turn off. I'm sure of it. You did it to me. You did it to me. It's in the book, so we're not missing anything. If you've got a copy of the book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Can't think of it. Can't think of it. And I've got tons of it in the garage. Can't think of it. Anyhow, alfalfa. Alfalfa. Grow your alfalfa. If you're not growing garlic and you've got fields that are open and exposed, get your alfalfa seed in the soils. That stuff will grow all winter long, and it doesn't require a lot of soil support. And it will give you the nitrogen and the boost that your soils need and your plants need and your animals need. Hint, hint, hint. Alfalfa is good for everything, including you. So, y'all have a great day. Keep looking for me. Winter's coming. I'm back to start talking again. I'm done doing my summer stuff, but I'm not finished barbecuing yet. So we'll talk to you guys. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for stopping in. Share this out. Get me some more subscribers so I can get over 1,000. Maybe turn this into a paid channel and have a reason to stay. We'll see you, everybody. You have a great day.